I don't know why I'm doing this. No one's gonna see this video, but you know what? We're doing it. Okay, so me and Chaos read this article about a guy who liked to funk horses. This is the link will be in the description.
Alright, 3, 2, 1.
When did you first realize you were attracted to horses? Did you have a horse coming of age narrative?
Well, the first time I saw a horse was when I was 7 years old. There was a carnival in the parking lot across the street from my house, and it had a parade of them
God.
walking around in circles. I begged my parents to let me go so I could ride the ponies. But when I got on the horse's back, I was absolutely horrified. I bawled my eyes out. I think I was bothered by how awful the situation was for them. All they did was go round and round. I could sense something about it, that in their attitude.
Did you experience sexual feelings?
No, I was 7, dumb shit. I started to notice horses in that way when I was 11 or 12. Everybody else was stealing their dad's Playboys, but I had a book called I had a book called my fucking god. But
Come
I
on.
had a book called The Big Book of Horses.
Your Playboy?
Essentially, it was a very interesting book. Everything you ever wanted to know about horses was there. At the time, I didn't really think of myself as different or unusual. It was just what I was interested in. I wasn't going to go broadcast what I was doing, but I also wasn't thinking to hide it. I feel like my sexual development was bang on. I just had a different affection.
So the book aroused you. Did you masturbate over the images of horses?
Oh yes,
Oh
and
god!
later I go to pre-internet online dial-up forums, and that's where I came across bestiality porn. And I didn't realize it was abnormal at first, but the comments attached to those pictures were all going on about how disgusting it was. I was 13, so that would be when I first aware that I was different. I grew up in the city, so I didn't have much access. I always was on the lookout for horses when I was traveling. I saw farms that I had loved to go explore, but they were never near my home. Sometimes I wonder if I just lacked the courage.
This was during puberty. Does that mean it's fair to say your sexual awakening revolved around horses?
Yes, absolutely.
God! Did you have sexual feelings towards humans as well?
Not until later in high school. It came to be an expected thing, but I didn't get close to anybody until I was about 20.
What was your adolescence like? Did you experiment sexually?
Before the age of about 10, there was no more than some "I'll show you mine if you show me yours." Okay, can we take a quick pause right there? Who's ever done that?
I've never had that happen to me, no.
Okay, lost. I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
We're not doing this.
I'll show you mine if you show me yours. But it was pretty boring until high school. My interest was horses. At school, you could have called me asexual, unless it was the horses. It's not as if I didn't have friends or engage in activities, but I was a little nerdy and not all athletic. I've always been somewhat overweight. I don't think I had any more or less trouble with the in crowd than any other kid. And I know a few people looked up to me for my abilities in math, science, and the fact that I was always willing to help
If
people.
they turned the other way when they took me to their farm, did you date at all?
I did ask a girl to prom. She was a whore. No. Now that I look back, I feel sorry for her. We sat at a table and didn't dance. I didn't even think we hugged. As much as I later experimented with people, I was always sure I wanted horses. It was never the case of I'm just giving this a try to see if I would prefer humans.
When was your first kiss? Oh god.
My first kiss was from a man named Mark. He was aware of my sexual preference and interested himself in dogs after a fashion. That was about 2 months after I lost my virginity. So I was about 22. In all honesty, I've never liked kissing men. Rough beards don't turn me on.
So, had your first kiss? You had your first kiss after you lost your virginity. Did you lose your virginity to a horse or a human?
A horse?
God damn. There must have been a lot of build up.
Yes, the pressure builds and builds and builds. And losing your virginity is becoming a real zoo. Is that what they call themselves? Because you're joining a very select group of people, and if you haven't actually done it, people wonder if that's your real sexuality. So there's some hazing that
No,
goes
no, no, no.
on.
Is this a college fraternity or something? What?
I wanted to have the sexual experience as well as the street cred among my peers, the zoophilias I met online, because that's where my closest friends really.
How did you
There's a
find a
bit of a
sex
hazing. Like
partner?
them put a gun to my head over the internet.
How did you find a sex partner?
One of my friends had access to a nice female pony, and he let me have sex with her. She was a Shetland cross, and she had dorsal stripes,
Oh
the black
god.
lines across the spine, and that's something that turned me on ever since.
What was it like?
My friend was there at the time, and he was holding her head. He didn't have to do that.
Oh no,
It
no, I
felt
don't like the
like
next.
we were doing things that she wasn't enjoying. But he was there to protect me. He had his back to me, and he was holding the head rope and make sure that she was okay, and also to prove that I'd actually done it. The sexual experience itself was incredible. To this day, it was the best sex I've ever had. But in some ways, I regret that first time.
God, I don't want to do the next one.
Too bad.
Why?
Because you brought me on here for an interview. Because I didn't get to know her first. And I've since come to the understanding that enthusiastic participation makes the experience better. So I kind of wish it had been different. I think a lot of people build up that first experience, and whether they are straight or zoophile.
Oh god. So, how do you have sex with a mare? Do you always develop an intimate relationship first, or is there foreplay? God.
I'll tell you about the first time I had sex with my current male friend.
I'm gonna shoot myself.
It's sort of a comedy of errors. So I had her for about a year. I had her in the barn. I'd given her food. I'd brushed her, cleaned under her tail, and cleaned her face. I'd scooped snot out of her nose. We know each other very intimately. We were in the barn with all the lights out and a nice warm heater. It was lovely. So she was setting in the night, and I went to a stall, and I just sat in the corner. I let her come to me, and that's one of the things I'm very adamant about. I never use a halter of any kind of restraint.
I'm gonna put a gun
So
in that.
she chooses. So she chooses to come with me,
God.
and I leave her food as she puts her head on my chest, and we snuggle. And I whisper sweet nothings into her ear and rub her cheeks.
God.
What she likes. But this stage she knows I'll rub her thigh, and she really loves it. Between the back of her legs touched. So she turned around and she actually backed into me while I was sitting down. I slipped my hands up farther and played with her genitals.
I don't wanna. God. Dude.
This was your idea for a video.
I don't want to finish the chaos. Go ahead and look. Do you want to do the rest of this? We're at 11 minutes and we've not even gone a fourth of the way through.
Fucking Christ!
Yeah! Dude, what the hell? What is this?
Trick question, kids. Always fuck a horse.
Okay,
I
we
had
done.
a girlfriend at one point, but we didn't do anything. Why? Because she's not a fucking horse.
Okay, I'm done.